have mac and cheese, homemade cassoulet, French style, with a little bit of cayenne for those people who are not lactose intolerant. Do I make you feel bad yet? Okay, we have locally sourced brilliant sausage that you can eat. One glass of wine and I'm gonna be fine.
we both will.
I will be just fine.
Wow. You gotta explain.
Okay.
Explain this rhubarb wine.
I have stage fright.
You know this is going to be on a video that's going on the internet, so. And I thank everyone responsible for putting it together. It makes me feel really, really good to be here with all of you, and I don't want to leave, especially this house. Yeah, I was so hopeful yesterday because the sun was out and it was all warm. I was like, oh, it's going to be England. And then here we go again. But here's England. But anyway, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about, you know, why I'm here for this particular trip. I did come over to do some book signings at the base, which we did Monday and Tuesday. Is today Wednesday? Today's Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
And my book actually came out in January. I started it back in '06. And the conversation, the genesis for this project actually was, I was sitting around with some high school friends of mine, and you know, we were just sitting around getting reacquainted. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
So am I.
Get out. Where'd you go to high school?
Well, I grew up in the countryside in Brown County, but I lived in Walnut Hills for a very long
Get
time.
out.
Yes.
My cousins went to Walnut Hills. I went to Wyoming.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Okay. Don't you love this? Oh my God. So anyway, they were talking about getting Botox and plastic surgery because they were starting to show signs of aging a little bit. And they all pointed at me and they said, "You still look like you're in high school," which I really don't. I honestly don't. And I can't take any credit for this. The McDonald's women don't age at all, and I don't do anything. I barely wash my face in the morning. I don't moisturize. I don't use toner.
Moisturizer.
Yeah, I don't use any of the things you're supposed to do. The magazines tell you to do. So, but anyway, it occurred to me, because when I look at people, I just see people. I don't see the wrinkles on your face. I don't see what color your eyes are. I'm really a bad journalist.
Oh, I do.
But I just wondered at what point were they going to just really accept themselves as they were and love themselves. And that's what started this. And I was working at the Fort Worth Star-Telegram at the time, but I was based in
Fort Worth.
Okay, we're all going to find out we're all related. Yeah, cousins. But I was based in LA, and I would go into Fort Worth about 3 or 4 times a year. And I pitched a story about how different cultures of women approach aging. And there were 2 good things about it. Good things were that we did get a lot of women who were from like 8 to 80, as we like to say. But the bad thing is that none of them were local because I didn't live there. So they were from all around the country. And that kind of led into a discussion where we took it into the entertainment sector. And I remember asking Meryl Streep about how she's approaching aging, and she just looked at me with that whimsical smile she always has. It's like, I'm engaging it. We have this book. It's called Journey to the Woman I've Come to Love, and I'm going to explain who this is. No one knows her. Her name is Nasara Prempe. She is the first African-American female graduate from the School of Metallurgical Engineering at MIT.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, she won't tell me how old she is. She just says she's between 70 and 100 because she's trying to find a new man. Not mad at her. Not mad at her. But she's kind of... There's a section in LA called Leimert Park, which is sort of the African-American cultural hub. And she is like a legend there. And I actually shot this at a street fair in Leimert Park. I think it was a Labor Day thing. And she sits in this booth all day. She designs clothing and jewelry, and I think she writes a little poetry and does all kinds of things. And she just had on this great hat, this great jewelry, and you can see the markings on her face. She's Nigerian, Those are tribal markings. And she just sits and talks. Now, what happened was, shortly after I took this picture, she had a really bad stroke, and they didn't think she was going to make it. But she's up and kicking. She's up and kicking. So this book, I started out interviewing people, and I was talking to them like 3 and 4 hours, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to transcribe this. So honestly, I just got a little lazy. So I said, I'm just going to ask one question. And the one question is, at what point did you fall in love with yourself? And the responses in here are, so inspiring. I'll just read a few of my favorites. Angela Davis, folks remember her? Yeah. I got sent home from school when I was in junior high for wearing a Free Angela t-shirt. And I didn't even know what it meant, really. I was just like,
Who was Angela?
yeah, Angela. She says, well, I guess I would say I fell in love with myself when I realized that my community was more important than me as an individual. I've come to recognize the absolute importance of community and collective struggle. And nothing I have accomplished, nothing significant, has ever been simply the result of my own skills, my own aspirations. It's always been in the context of a larger community. How cool is that? Yeah. Cynthia St. James, who is an artist, some of you might know her. She designed the Kwanzaa stamp that we used in the States. Okay, and she's done like illustrations for like 93 books. Cynthia hosted my first book signing in LA at her home/gallery. And she says, I would say a particular time stands out because it's the most recent. It was about 7 years ago when I decided to start gifting myself. What I gifted myself with was every morning at dawn, I would go walk on the beach and say my affirmations and prayers. I decided it's good to gift other people, but you also need to gift yourself. And just to tell you how dedicated she is about this beach thing, she lives in Los Feliz. I don't know if any of you know LA. Los Feliz is on the other end of the world from Venice Beach.
Oh my God.
So even if she goes at 5 in the morning, it probably takes her a good 45 minutes to an hour to get there. And she goes every morning at like 5.
She walks on the way?
No, I guess she drives in, but she walks the beach at sunrise. Yeah. And Robin Roberts, this is not a funny story, but I talked to her.
Yeah. Yes, she is.
Okay, see, we are all related.
See, woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, well, from Hattiesburg, but I started in Biloxi and went to Hattiesburg.
Okay. Well, Robin, my friend Jenny, who's also in the book, said to me, she said, you should have Robin Roberts in the book. This was in the final editing process. And I was like, wait a minute, didn't I talk to her? Because some things got lost in the tape because it's been so long. And I said, yeah, I talked to her. And I had to go and hunt down her quote. And this was right after she had her cancer surgery. And she said, oh my goodness, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer and I went on the air bald, I was one of those sisters who was like, oh, my hair. I'd go swimming and I'd do a dog paddle because I didn't want to get my hair wet. Since I went through cancer and I held my head up high on national television, just as bald as you can be, that's when I fell in love with the woman that I am.
Wow.
So, and I'll just I like this one. This is one of the first ones I got, Nikki Giovanni, the poet.
Oh, I love
Okay, Nikki, in typical Nikki fashion, said she fell in love with herself the moment she realized that she was really smart. Because Nikki thinks she's really smart, and she is. She is. And this is the last one I'll do. This woman, Miss Rosa, she was in the nursing home that my dad was in before he passed, and I used to always notice her because she was really active. And one day I was walking out and she stopped me and she said, today's my birthday. And I said, today's your birthday? She goes, today's my birthday. And I said, well, did you have a party or something? She said, no, but today's my birthday. And, I thought to myself, here's this woman alone in this nursing home. There's no family around. So I went out to Kroger's, those of you from the East Coast know Kroger's, yeah. And bought her a birthday cake and some candles and took it back. And, she was so touched, she started crying. And she used to do this thing where she would grab my cheeks and kiss them like 19 times. It's like being at a tennis match. And she grew up in Nazi Germany. And she said, and I had to catch her on a lucid moment because she was suffering from Alzheimer's. She said, everyone around me was so filled with hate, the Nazis, and that was so stupid to me. I didn't understand the hate. It didn't feel good. So even though people hated me for no reason, I learned early on to love myself. It was the only way to make it through all the insanity. And she very graciously extended an invitation to come here and has been just a wonderful host. She should probably be Teacher of the Decade. I think she's, you know, I've had an opportunity to meet some of the students and mothers that she's dealt with, and it's pretty amazing work that she does. So, you know, pretty amazing work that you all do.
That's true.
Absolutely. So, and I'm so happy to have gotten a chance to witness it like firsthand, because I've been asking her all kinds of questions about base life. You know, because one of the first questions I was like, well, what do these guys really do?
Do they wear these uniforms every day?
Yeah, and how do I get one of those flight suits? Some of them are flight suits. They're so cool. And then I go into the store and like Michael Kors bags are like $50 off. And I'm like, oh, this life could be good. Yeah, this life could be really good. So
See the coach 50 pounds off.
I didn't see the coaches. See, I'm a Kors through and through. So yeah. So, and it's great to meet all the student teachers here too. You guys,
Thanks for having me.
good luck to you.
Well, welcome. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.